cask matured Korean wheat soju called Poet's Rock from Jinmek. What is this like, and should you be looking out for Jinmek soju? Stay tuned for the Whiskey Whistle. 안녕하세요. Greetings, my whiskey people. Mark here for Whiskey Whistle on YouTube, sharing a little bit of soju awesomeness here on Whiskey Whistle, bringing you a very special soju review, and that is this cask, near cask strength, 54.5% barrel-aged wheat soju from Jinmek. So that's called Jinmek Poet's Rock. I want to say, make sure you always take the road less traveled. This is an Andong soju from Jinmek, as I mentioned, and unfortunately, I botched a review just now by not pressing the record button. So I'm really hitting deep into the bottle here, but I've got a fresh glass here. And we'll get into this. Make sure you subscribe to Whiskey Whistle, whether you're into whiskey or soju or both, like me. We'll enjoy a variety of different whiskeys together, and you can check out my archives of 700 plus whiskey reviews, all right? So I fell in love with this soju brand by trying their 45% classic, their regular soju. No. It was 54.5% also, in fact. Their regular wheat soju, which was just incredible. I'll have to get a review up soon. Then they released this Poet's Rock, and I flipped out. I contacted them directly while I was in Canada. I had a bottle sent to my sister-in-law, who brought it to me in Canada. Then 2 years later, or 1 year later, I moved back to Korea carrying the bottle with me. Finally opened it about 3 days ago, and I'm just blown away. I'm literally blown away, flabbergasted by the quality in this bottle. Now you can see very clearly, if you look through the glass, that this is only barrier filtered and entirely not filtered whatsoever other than that. Aged in what I think is a virgin American oak cask for approximately 24 months, maybe less, maybe more. Anyway, the color, first of all, very, very deep and rich. And it really comes off as an Asian style whiskey. So let's get into the nose first of all. Spicy and sweet. There's a little bit of an earthy component in there, but it's super sweet, and it's got that little bit of a spicy tang to it. And if you're not sure what soju is basically auto-fermented grain liquor. It can also be non-grain liquor like sweet potato. So you take, for example, you take the wheat and you take a portion of wheat and you mash it, like you squish it into like rice, and you let it ferment in a clean environment, ferment and rot, and you get this kind of like noble rot. You'll get these little white filaments, which is a fungus called aspergillus. Then you take that and you add it to your cooked rice. In this case, your cooked wheat berries. So the wheat berries are cooked, and you add in that self-starter, and you mix it all in, and you put it in a bucket, and you let it do its thing, basically. And what you'll end up with is kind of like a like a rice wine, in this case a wheat wine, to which then you distill in a pot still or any kind of a still. Traditionally, it's a clay pot. These days, they use a lot of stainless steel with maybe some copper tops on it. But then you get your soju. Soju is typically white, but you can certainly age it in cask like this one. Okay, so the nose, as I said, super sweet, earthy, kind of like grappa. Spicy, a little bit like rye. And the sweetness is on par with your typical Canadian whiskeys like Crown Royal. So a buttery sweetness, sugary sweetness, like a brown sugar pie. Okay, let's get into the palate. Cheers, everyone. 건배. 짠. Sweet, delicious, a little bit of spice that really balances things out. There's a pepperiness to it. There's a mintiness to it. The finish is sweet and sweet. It's just sweet. A little bit of dryness in a good way that astringency really balances out the sweetness, doesn't it? This is definitely a dessert drink. A little bit of that rye bite. It's minty, it's peppery. 54.5%, but so well made. Cleanly distilled, slowly distilled. Aged in very, very nice casks. I'm guessing that they probably rinsed them out quite well beforehand. They might have even been air-dried casks. Some intense, tart, cherry notes coming through here, and a cola note as well. Cherry cola, anyone? Anyone? It might be the best barrel-aged soju that I've ever tried, and I'd like to add some water together with you. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Let's go up to 20 or whatever that is. A little bit more than 1 milliliter of water added. And while I let that mix and meld together, let's check out this hefty pour of the Jinmek soju. Yes, earthy like a grappa. Sweet like a Canadian rye, your classic Canadian rye, your Canadian Club or your Crown Royal. A little bit bitey like an American rye, a straight rye, with the classic virgin oak you get in American whiskey. Lip-smackingly sweet and very, very delicious. Should I give this a preemptive soju hug? Yes. 진맥. 오, 진짜 너무 예뻐. 뽀뽀. 뽀뽀. Wow. Okay, so then with water, what happens? And a bit of coffee to cleanse my palate. And a bit of water to wash that coffee down. The nose becomes earthier. And it really reminds me of really, really well-made grappa with that earthiness. Like you can almost taste the soil that the wheat was grown in. Sweet, spicy wheat notes. A little bit more oomphy, dry, minty, peppery rye notes. Well, they're wheat notes. I keep saying rye because that's what it feels like in my mouth. I'm just loving this, and I can't wait to share this. There's one person that I really want to share this with. That's Nathan Samuelson here in Korea. He told me he was going to go to another Korean distillery called Chusa, where they make apple brandy. So I've got this port cask finished brandy that I bought with the help of him. And anyway, so when we get together next time, Nathan, we got to try that Poet's Rock together. I think you're going to love it. And if I can, I'm definitely going to share that with some Canadian buddies. You know who you are. Some of my my Whisky Whistle crewmates. You've got to try this Poet's Rock. So let's get on to the Whisky Whistle Soju score for 진맥 Poet's Rock, 진맥 시인의 바위. What is that going to be, folks? It's going to be 88 out of 100. You heard it, 88 out of 100 is the Whisky Whistle Soju score for 진맥 Poet's Rock. And how does that score kind of match up with the Whisky Whistle whiskey scores? Well, I just reviewed the Glengoyne cask strength, and I gotta say this is superior. And I just reviewed the Tamdu batch strength also. Where's the bottle? I don't know. But your Tamdu limited release batch strength, that was batch number 8. And yeah, this is superior to that overall. It is extremely well distilled, and I have to give my hats off to them again. If I had a hat on, I would definitely take it off. To you, the fine people at 진맥, and I'd like to say, 고생 많으셨습니다. You really, really worked hard on that one. 수고, maybe that's better. 수고 많으셨습니다. Good job on that. Cheers. 건배. Final sip here. So great. Wonderful. Subscribe to Whisky Whistle. Check me out on Patreon. Stay tuned for what's coming. My name is Mark Kaufman here, and you're watching Whisky Whistle. We'll see you for the next one. Goodbye, everyone.